Welcome to another wonderful Boltz auction. This time we're here with David Zofsak, purveyor of amazing baseball memorabilia, one of the promoters for said gentleman, and we're happy to have his collection or part of his collection here. So David, could you tell us how you got into baseball collecting in the first place? I mean, where did this passion start?
Well, I guess I started out in Little League. My mother cut out a couple of clippings where I hit home runs and won games, and this is from 1959, and I had no idea that she was doing it.
That's amazing. I mean, and you played baseball too, is that correct?
Oh yeah, I played for a team called Coca-Cola. I was in Elkins, West Virginia, and this is actually one of three of my game balls that I actually had from when I played Little League. These are dated 1959.
I was gonna say, what year is that? So 59, wonderful. So this has been a long lifetime hobby for you, and not even a hobby, but a passion, really.
Yeah, I love baseball. I played left field at that time, and this is another ball still in the box from when I played. This one also dates 1959, and it says number 91 official Little League, so it's, you know, it's a legitimate ball.
That's amazing. And yeah, you still have sealed balls from back then.
Yeah.
You have balls that you played with. You have all this wonderful memorabilia.
And when
I mean, over the years, what are the most significant pieces you think you've found?
Well, some of my best pieces was a 1927 Yankee team ball with signed by 17 players of the 27 Yankees, which was the best Yankee team in history. And Lou Gehrig was on it, and I had a guy in Kansas said, "I'll give you $1,750 for it right now." I said, "You just bought it."
Ah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Then I had a 1962 Sandy Koufax no-hit game ball that he signed. I also sold that. That was a really hot item because he pitched 4 no-hitters, but you know, this was a 62 game, and it was, you know, totally legitimate.
Yeah, I can believe that. That's one of the big names of several of Hall of Famers and other, you know, legendary players that you have. I mean, what criteria do you use when you're selecting these items? Do you have specific players or teams or eras that you focus on?
Well, what I'd like to do at that time, during a little later in my life when I started collecting, I went and bought the 1996 baseball encyclopedia and the home address book, and I went out and bought 20 dozen baseballs, and I started writing to all the players that were played in the 20s and 30s that were still living. Some of them go back to 1897, and they all wrote back to me. I would open up my mailbox and there would be 35 signed baseballs a day.
Just waiting in the mail for you like Christmas morning.
Just waiting in the mail. It was really fantastic. And I was sending out 30 baseballs, at least 30 baseballs a week to different players, and I got them all back signed.
Fantastic. And I mean, that collection has evolved clearly over time, obviously, considering the size of it. You know, I mean, how has it evolved? Are there any like specific ways that you, you know, changed your collecting style over the years?
Well, I switched from strictly baseballs to bats. I had 300 bats. And then I got into some of the like 600 of the 1950s cards, which were very difficult to find. And then I started collecting All-Star and World Series ball. Right now I have the complete collection of every World Series and All-Star ball ever made.
The complete collection.
All the way back
wow.
to all the way back to 77.
Jeez, that's amazing. I mean, the memorable stories and experiences we'll get into, I'm sure, as we go over some of these balls, but I mean, how do you verify the authenticity of some of these things?
Well, I personally knew over 400 major leaguers, which I'll talk about a little later. But I saw a lot of guys at baseball shows. I did shows all over the country, and they were there signing. So I have authenticity letters from that you had to get the ball signed.
Right.
So I can prove that it's legitimate. I didn't get COAs due to the fact that I had 8,000 pieces of baseball memorabilia, and I figured estimated cost of $32,000 to get letters, and I didn't want to give away $32,000 of my collection just to get letters.
Right.
But I guarantee everything in this auction is 100% exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Right. Right.
Because I actually went to many of the players' homes, which I have pictures of, and talked to them for hours at a time. Like Monty Irvin, Hall of Famer, him and I used to sit up by his pool, and he would ask me, "Okay, Dave, what'd you bring me to sign?"
Right. Yeah, just one of the boys. You used to promote for them. You used to get the set up these events and then basically get them paid, get their hotel rooms set up, all that logistics to get them out there.
I took over 70 players of the Negro Leagues, and we traveled all over the country, like St. Louis, Houston, Florida, Pittsburgh, San Antonio, Chicago, Detroit. We traveled all over, and I would call the players and get the ones that were available, and then I would get their airline tickets and their rooms, and I would fly them in, and we would do a 4 or 5 day show.
Yeah.
And
signing show, and have all the people, the crowds and the fans be able to come out and meet their players in person.
Yeah, I have over 600 signed autographs just from the Negro Leagues.
Right. Right. And some of these events that you've hosted, you have some pictures of right up here.
Yeah,
so I'm going to cut into those a little bit.
I have complete history of all the shows that I did.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, if you see all the players in these pictures, I'm the one that took the picture.
Right, right. Somebody had to take the pictures, right? But this is where you were. I mean, these are your photos and your memories.
Yeah. And I was good friends with Ernie Banks. And I'm in one of the pictures with Ernie Banks right there on the front.
Yeah. Yep, right there. There's Mr. Zofsak and the great Ernie Banks. Amazing. And we'll just show some of the uptight of some of these great lots that we have out here on the table. Got Hank Foley's, Dick Grote. I mean, just some serious legends. Frank Rossetti and Denny McLain. That's a nice lot right there. Yep, and the Bobby Richardson, but the Denny McLain with the frame. You get the signed cap that is matching the signed photo, and you also get the signed glove, which is matching his glove in the photo. That glove is in fact a Denny McLain glove. Got the facsimile in it, etc.
His autographs are very difficult to get. I knew him personally, so he signed the cap and the glove, and then I got the signed picture in Houston.
Right. Amazing. So these are a lot of these are due to years and years of these events. It wasn't like you got all these at one event, etc.
I was collecting for over 45 years.
Right. So you would bring
45 years. You meet a lot of players and get a lot of items.
Right.
They're very unique.
So tell me about your affiliation with the Negro League players and how that speaks to your heart. I see this bat up here in the front. We see that's got a really nice amount of signatures on it, and you had told me that came from multiple events that you got them to.
Some of the Negro League stuff I have, I got signed over 6 or 7 different shows, and I would do is I had different guys at different shows, so I would have these items, and I would have the 6 guys at one show sign it, and then when I did another one, I would take all these items with me and have the next group sign them. And I did, like the Negro League glove up front here, this black one signed in silver, which is beautiful with 15 autographs on it.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. You want to
That
pick
was-
that up for him real quick?
Yeah, that was about,
You want to lift that up for him real quick, then that we can see this a little bit more. Maybe spin it around. Yep. Wow.
and this was signed over 6 shows.
Yeah. So, it took a lot of time and effort to get all of these signatures, and that just goes to show you the passion that David had for baseball, for the community, for these players that really didn't get the appreciation that they deserved, especially at the time. Not like how the players get these days.
And I think only one player out of these 15 are still alive.
Wow.
So, that's all. I got these signed back in 91, 92.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how far back I went with these guys. And I met one guy there in San Antonio, and he says, well, I've got 5 different players here. Why don't we start doing something? So I met with them, and it went from that point for 9 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just kind of, you were in the right place you put yourself in the right places at the right times.
Yeah, and I said to him, how would you like to go to Chicago and do a show, or go to Florida and do a show? They were all for that.
Yeah, they were all for it. And you took care of the booking. You got their planes. You got
I bought all their airplane tickets,
Yep.
their rooms. I fed them.
Yep.
And
Made sure they had a good time and were comfortable,
and I
while they're in your...
and even picked them up at the airport.
Right. Yeah, you were the full service guy,
Yeah,
which
I was
is
a promoter
awesome.
for 'em, and I was a promoter for like 12 years.
Right. That's amazing, and your passion really speaks to your collection. As far as like making your collection unique compared to others, I think it also speaks to that. Are there any specific items or themes that set it apart? Are there any, well, and obviously we're going to go into some stories behind their significance, as we already have been.
Well, I have so many one-of-a-kind items that you'll never find, because I was the only one that got these.
Right.
Because I was there when the players were there and no one else had these. So I had
Right.
a lot. So it's a very unique collection because you'll never find any of these.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's you were able to had more networks with the players than what any fan really would be able to do. And just the being able to send a bat down a table and get the whole table to sign it is certainly a rare experience.
okay, like a lot of these players, I knew personally quite a few of these. There's even too many to talk about because I knew over 400 players. But
Right.
these are items that you will never find, and I wanted to make the individual buying things to get their money's worth. So as you can see here, there's 3 baseballs. Instead of selling them individual, I put them in lots.
Yeah, so you get great value in this sale,
Yeah.
lots of combination lots, basically presentation lots, so you get your whole setup, your whole man cave display, all in one purchase.
Yeah, I can name
All of these.
75
Yeah, who are
names.
some of the ones that you knew personally? You had a list there of guys that you wanted to read out.
Well, okay, like Hank Boney, I knew he played for the New York Giants in 1927.
Wow.
Clay Bryant, I knew him. He played in the 1938 World Series. J.C. Martin, he was a Negro League player. I knew him very well. Herb Hall, I knew. Jim Coates. Jim Milkman Turner. He played during the season, and then when the season was over, he drove a milk truck. So that's why they called him Milkman Jim Turner.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
And he had to do that because these players really weren't that.
They were getting paid roughly $3,000 a year. So stretch that out. That's
Nothing.
That's nothing.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's Sam Page, Philadelphia A's, 1939. I knew him. Mel Roach was a well-known name. I knew him. Woody Jensen, I knew. Johnny Edwards. I'd say 50% of everything in there. I knew these guys. I knew over 500 players.
Oh my. Yeah.
Monty Irvin, right here.
The
I
back
used
of
to
that
go down
jersey
to
is stunning.
I used to go down to his house in Newport Richey, Florida, and talk to him. Right there he is, a picture I took
Right in his living room.
right in his living room.
Right. And right below that is Bill Rogel.
Billy Rogel.
Yep.
He signed the picture there. He's 96 in the picture. He died at 98 and a half. He lived in Newport Richey, 15 minutes from Monte Irvin, and I'd go down and see him. And Billy signed a baseball for me, or quite a few baseballs, but it's signed 1935 World Champs, and there's a picture of him. He was a little guy. He was like 5'6", but he played in the infield with Hank Greenberg and Charlie Gehringer, which were two major Hall of Famers. So he played right in the middle of them.
Wow.
So it was
that is quite a thing.
Yeah.
We've got Ralph Kiner right down there.
There's Ralph Kiner.
You
Ralph
get the
Kiner,
bat and the signed ball.
signed ball, Hall of Fame 1975 is on there.
Wow.
I talked to Tony Kubek on the phone. He had a stroke and his fingers were kind of messed up, but he signed the ball and it came out really good.
Really sharp. Yeah,
Really
look at
good.
that. And it's right on a Yankee ball
Yeah.
with the blue laces. I mean, that's a stunning piece for any collection.
Ned Garber was a personal friend of mine. He used to come to my shows in Pittsburgh and sit and sign at the table.
Yeah.
Pete Gray I knew well. He was a one-arm player that played during 42, 43 when all the men were at war, and he had one arm, and he would hit the bat like that, and then he would play the outfield. He'd catch the ball, take the glove off, and throw the ball back.
Throw the ball back.
And he was actually pretty good player.
Right. See, the history of some of these players is amazing.
And here's Juan Marichal, and here's Johnny Riddle. Johnny Riddle is a very interesting story. I called his house to see if he had signed the ball yet. I didn't know this at the time, but his nurse answered, and she said, actually, I'm holding the ball now. It's so weird you called because I'm holding the ball
signing it right now.
And he's signing it now, but he's blind. So you can see
Yeah.
that's how he pictured his autograph.
Right.
But, that's a legitimate story. And then about 4 days after I got this, a nurse called and said he passed away. Of course, he was 95.
Right. And that's amazing. That was probably the last signature he ever did.
Yeah, probably was.
Ugh.
Come to think, I never thought about that.
Right.
It probably was. Now, here's Eddie Robinson. He died at 101. He played for quite a few teams, but a super player.
Yeah.
And him and I would talk on the phone, and I would talk to his wife.
That's a sharp autograph.
I would talk to his wife, and I told her I was in the military honor guards, that I did taps, and she goes, I love taps. And I said, well, put the phone on speaker, and I actually did taps in my living room. And then she says, I really enjoyed that so much. She says, I'm crying now, but it was so worth it.
It was worth it. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, she was, moved to tears by that.
Yeah. She even asked me to fly to Houston when she passed away and to do taps at her funeral.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so outside of baseball, you've done many things. You've seen many things, the military being one of them.
Oh, I traveled to 16 countries and 36 states. I was an Air Force combat medic.
Okay.
13 months in Vietnam and 6 months in Kuwait.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for your service. I mean, that is seriously the most noble thing that one can do, really, is to protect their country.
I was in 20 years, so I served my time.
Right. Yeah, and now you've moved your passion elsewhere into baseball. What else are you planning on doing after? I mean, what has moved you to get rid of such a large amount of your collection?
Well, I plan on moving to San Antonio from Pennsylvania next year.
Okay.
So I have 8,000 pieces of memorabilia. I would need a whole moving truck just for my baseball collection.
Right.
So I've had it for 30, 40 years, some of it.
Right.
So it's time for someone else to enjoy it.
Yeah, so you want to get it out there to the community, share your passion with others, and
Well, this is
show
a great
people
opportunity to get some very unique
items, right?
things you won't say. Like on this one
Thing
up
that
here,
paints it.
this was up here. Bobby Thompson got a signed ball in 3 cards, 2 of them signed.
Right.
Where
and
he
a
hit,
signed hat. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's an
where he hit-
amazing lot.
yeah, where he hit the 51 home run and won the pennant. And then they lost in the World Series to the Yankees. But
Wow.
that was a great game. And also, there's a ball here. I don't remember what.
Yeah, which one are we looking for?
Clint Hartung
Oh, yes.
was on third base when Bobby Thompson hit that. So Clint Hartung scored the tying run, and then Bobby Thompson come around and scored the winning run.
Wow.
So there's a lot of history about Clint Hartung, and he lived in Stetson, Texas, and I drove there and was in his house, and he showed me all his memorabilia from playing and stuff.
Nice.
There's a
You got
newspaper.
a personal tour of Clint Hartung's house. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
sheesh.
I was in so many players' houses.
Right. Places guys would give probably their left arm to go to.
Oh, I did it on purpose. I would call the people up and say, how far, where do you live? And they were like 3 hours away. Says, you mind if I drive to your house and see
Yeah.
you and talk to you? And they
Yeah.
said, they would say, I love baseball. Come and see me.
Yeah, come and see me. Let's sit down and talk about baseball.
Yeah.
They just love to,
Oh, yeah.
be with somebody who respects the same things that they do.
And Billy Orgel was telling me he played 7 games in the 35 series, and he only got $6,000 for the whole series.
Sheesh.
So he said, I didn't play baseball for the money.
Right.
I played it for the game.
Yeah, for the game, for the passion. Now guys are just playing for the money, and good on them, but it is sad that these players didn't get the money that they deserved. But at the same time, yeah, it's cool that these guys were doing this out of passion.
And those 20s and 30s and 40s players, they were great players.
Yeah, they were great players, and some of them, many of them are on the facsimiles of these baseball bats right here, which I'm focusing on. I mean, these guys love the baseball bats, so let's go ahead and tell them about some of the amazing ones that you've got.
Well, I got
Yeah, no, you're good.
Jackie Robinson, Joe Morgan, Hall of Famers, and Carl Yastrzemski, Ernie Banks, Harlan Killebrew, Kirby Puckett, Hall of Famers, Greg Lazinski from the Phillies. Here's one from York. The guy's name is York, but it's a U.S. Army bat that they used during the time that they had off between battles to have a baseball game. So this
Right,
is
blow off
actually
some steam.
this is actually a bat.
And you can see the marks on it from the
it's
hits.
game used.
Yep.
This is actually a bat that they used in the Army to play with.
Wow. Yeah, you probably don't find very many of those.
And here's Roberto Clemente,
Yep.
Fred Lynn. A lot of good names here. I think there's 39 bats in the auction.
Right, right. And those old facsimile bats types are very difficult to find. We've also got a lot of items up here on this front table. These are where we got some really, really good bats. So I'll have you go over some of these items for
Okay,
them.
here's Willie Mays bat.
There we
Willie
go,
Mays
and the
ball.
ball. Look at that. Now those two are being sold separately. Not going to give you that much juice in one lot, but yeah, those are really amazing. You can get the bat and the ball. You pay for 2 separate lots, but they're right next to each other. That is lots 150 and 151 in the sale. Definitely a highlight.
But Willie Mays and I used to sit and talk to him. I knew him personally, just like
Yeah,
talking to someone else. But here's Willie Mays. Him and I are talking.
that's the boys.
Yeah. So here's a nice glove from Frank House. This is a really, really old glove. This is an old glove with a Charles Feeney ball in it. This is an old glove with a Leave Me Fail ball in. It's a Spalding. These go back in the 70s. This was early 80s. But these are old baseballs you don't find anymore, and these gloves actually fit your hand really good. They're nice. This is a American League 1915 ball, which is extremely rare to find.
Yeah.
This is an assortment of baseball magazines. There's actually more than these. This is just a few.
Right. Just a little selection for you. Check out the full sale for all the lots.
And here's a beautiful Bobby Richardson ball, Bobby Chance ball, Frankie Crissetti, signed on this cap with
Yep.
pictures and cards.
You get it all
That's
in
all
one
one-
lot.
that's all one lot.
That's a power lot if
This
I've
is-
ever
yeah,
seen
this
one.
is definitely a-
Mhm.
And then this is Frank Thomas, Dick Grote, and Hank Foley's.
Mhm.
They're on this picture here, and this is their pictures here.
Yep, you
and
get
a
all
Frank
that.
Thomas signed cap.
And you get the cap all in one shot. I mean, that's an amazing lot.
And this was the
Denny McLean,
David
yep,
McLean.
and
This is
that's
this is
a
a very
superb
unique,
display piece.
This is a very unique lot because you will not find a glove that has his facsimile signature on it,
and
then
his actual
and then
signature.
signed.
Right.
And he signed it 31-6. That was his record that year. So and he's even got it on the cap.
Wow.
1968, 31-6.
Wow.
Very unique lot. This is beautiful. This would be great in a man cave or something
Mm-hmm.
like
Yep. I mean, that's a special
that.
set.
Let's do the Negro League balls back here.
Oh,
These
yes.
are some of my Negro League balls back here.
Yeah, these guys
These
we
are
were really
for the
close
play.
to.
These are for the players that sit at my tables all the time. And these 2, 4, 6, 7 baseballs here are actually, they were given to me by the players. These are actually Negro League game balls from the 30s and 40s.
Wow.
Totally original.
Yeah.
And here's Turkey Stearns, Hall of Fame. Beautiful, beautiful autograph. Hilton Smith, Dave McCloucher, got a signed card here with it. I mean, not a signed card, but a card here with it.
with it, yes.
Buck O'Neill, big time Negro fan. Satchel Paige with 3 cards.
Yeah, that's a nice lot.
Then the glove with 15 autographs on it. This is a beautiful
Yeah,
glove.
that's gonna be an amazing lot. You've got
This glove is worth it.
everybody on it.
That glove is worth a ton.
Yep.
Because you'll
Right.
never find
You
that.
guys can decide how much of a ton, but I'd say a big ton. A heavy one for sure.
Okay, now these bats are old. This is Mel Ott. I don't have the information in front of me, but on the paperwork that's going to be with it
Right.
will actually give the date of the
Date
bat.
of the bat, yeah, based on the logo, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, they can tell by the bottom here. It tells you
Which trademark? Yeah.
when the
Yeah.
bat was actually done.
Right.
This is Jimmy Fox, and I think this could possibly be his college bat because it has Oklahoma on it,
Okay.
which is very unique. He's Hall of Fame. And then Johnny Mize.
Yeah.
That's a really old bat. He's Hall of Fame. Beautiful bat. And this is a Goldsmith bat. This was the first Goldsmith bat made, 1920, and it's in beautiful condition. Not a bad. Got a beautiful end on it down here.
Mm-hmm.
But you won't find a 1920 Goldsmith bat anywhere.
Wow.
Then we have Ken Griffey Jr., Roger Maris, Ted Williams. This is the Negro League bat with.
Yeah, that's special. You want to spin that for me? We'll show them all of the. Yeah. You get a couple signatures on there, just a few.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's
Pretty much anybody who is anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just amazing that you went out and to make sure that these guys got their signings in and, you know, were taken care of while they were.
Yeah, and you can
getting
see
them in.
with the Negro League pictures in the front here, all the shows, because these shows were all in different cities.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that just to prove what the players were there. You know,
Right.
that I'm not kidding anyone.
Yeah, right.
Because it's right there. It's right there. What I call having art.
Right. Yeah. Amazing. So all that history and all those players. So yeah, we have approximately 300 lots, maybe a little bit more right now, and we've got some photos we're going to get posted for you here shortly. We'll have photos and details of all the lots. So David, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for showing us your passion and your collection and allowing us to get this out into the world to make sure that you know, somebody else is able to appreciate it.
Well, when I'm looking at those cases, I didn't realize how many baseballs I actually brought here.
Right.
There's a ton of them there. And
It's a ton.
Yeah.
And like you said, value in lots is definitely all throughout this sale. you see multiple, baseballs per lot. If they're stacked up like that, that means that they all go as one. We've got some individuals down in the bottom left corner, but you will see all of the details of that with the sale listing. That is on highbid.com, or you can go on boltzauctions.com for more details. Also, please follow us on Facebook and all of our other social medias. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.